up, everybody? It's JR. Welcome back. Today we're going to work on the LS wiring harness swap again. Let me show you what I have here. Probably most importantly is I have a more or less assembled LS engine. I started to do the harness before I had all my wiring harness parts, before I'd done my wiring harness. And I just came to realize that it was going to be really difficult to figure out, you know, exactly which wires I needed and which wires I didn't. So I went ahead and put it to the side. Now I have all my, because I can identify all these sensors, so that's a little easier for me. You know, here's my knock sensor, here's my map sensor, here's my cam sensor, here's my idle air control, TPS, crank sensor down there. Let me get a light on over here. You get the idea. I know. So, you know, when I was looking at the harness, it was kind of difficult for me to determine so give me a moment here. I'll probably jump you.
Enjoy this commercial-free music session presented by City. Imagine if a band could make you feel just a little more awesome. City, welcome. What's next?
All right. So let me show you what we have here. First of all, I have my instructions from lt1swap.com. These are invaluable, and these show your pinouts. So these yellow ones are all marked remove, and then he has the color here. Oops, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. He has the color here and the circuit number here. Fuel, tank pressure, sensor signal. Some of these I think I may want to come back and reuse, like the AC stuff, or I may run the AC standalone. You can do it either way. Obviously cars had air conditioning before there was electronic engine control, so we'll see how that works out. I have this Dorman fuse block, and there's a part number. You can actually get it at AutoZone, or I think I got it off Amazon. I have some miscellaneous heat shrink and connectors over here. I have my soldering station, which I don't have quite set up yet. I'm not really quite there. I've de-lubed my whole harness since the last video you guys saw it. You know, I kind of got ahead. Now this looks like ridiculously intimidating, right? But I assure you it's really not. This is, when you see people say, all you gotta do is take the pinks. If you want your engine to start and run, you can look at a Gearhead for Life's videos. This is the block that they talk about, which is, let me look at my notes. That's the C2 block. So you remove every wire from this block but the paint. Okay? And you see I got some kind of hanging out here. And I've already depinned a bunch of wires from the harness. So if you just want it to start and run, you put 12 volts to these, orange, 12 volts constant hot, and 12 volts switched hot to these. And this is your starter wire, and that thing will run. If you have a ECU with the VATs eliminated. So eliminating these wires, all that does is clean things up, make it a little nicer. You know, you can rewrap it in some nicer loom. So you guys can see, I have this other harness I cut out at the junkyard somewhere along the way. So I'm going to set you up here so you can see how this goes. Let me grab a few things real quick. It's really easy. All this stuff was on my harness, and I've cut it all off. It all goes in the donor vehicle. It's all useless to me. And if you have, I have a drive-by cable set up, so my plugs are red and blue. The drive-by wires are blue and green, I think. I don't know. There's something in green. Anyway, this is really easy to do. I just can't emphasize enough how simple this is. You guys really aren't. You gotta believe me, this is gonna be easy as pie, and I'm gonna show you the whole thing. So what you want to do first is cut these off. You don't need them. These all go to like the 4x4 switch and the body of the donor vehicle, and there's just stuff you don't need. Okay? We want this to be standalone. So next, you're going to come over here to your C2 harness, okay? And these wires are going to be all in here like this. And I don't know why I bothered to remove these nicely, but I did. So I'll go ahead and show you if you care. So I could have just clipped them out of here and been done with it, but you take a little sharp pick tool. And there's a tab in there, and you can just pull that out. I feel like I did that wrong. It sucks having to work backwards. I wish I hadn't gotten ahead of myself. Yeah, so that's in there firmly, okay? Inside here, there's a little nubbin, and you just pop that bad boy up, and you can pull this wire right out. Although it's hard for me to show you while simultaneously doing it. But they come right out. So every wire that's not pink, get them out. Okay? And you'll be left with this. And you see I have one that's just hanging out in the breeze. These wires go off somewhere. I'm not going to get into that right now, or today at all. That'll be for part 3. So you got all your wires out but your pinks from your, let me look at my notes here, from your C2 block. So now you're ready to start depinning your harness. You gotta take these little covers off, and it's kind of a bit of fiddly messing around to get them out. And if I remember right, I think I broke my other ones. Also, if I remember right, you do not have to take that 8mm bolt out. They should pop off. That one's up. This one's just not wanting to cooperate. There we go. Come on. All aboard the fail train. Oh, now I managed to pop it in somewhere else. Great. Alright. So I managed to pop all these off. And now I can pull this back. It's actually zip tied right here. Which sucks, but for whatever reason, that's what they did with it. I don't see a knife around. I'm not going to bother with that. This is in way worse shape than mine. Good grief. Well, this is mine also. Yeah, this is terrible. Alright, so this is my red side, which corresponds to my red side of my instructions. This is my blue side. Goes to the blue one. That's how pinouts work. You might not have all the pins that he lists on here. Some vehicles don't. Actually, these are from a Savannah van with a 350. So, it really might not. I'm trying to get this cleaned up so you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about. Say pin numbers. I don't know if this helped or hindered. That's definitely not helping. Alright. We'll go for the best. Hope for the best. Zoom right in there. I can kind of see it. You can probably see this in the video. See, above each wire there's a number. I tried to color them, but I failed. I also tried to clean them up, but I failed. Anyway, you can see these all the way down. There's a number above each wire. And you can see that some of them are blank, like 18, 17, 16, 15 has a wire in it. So on and so forth. That correlates right directly over here to your list from lt1swap.com. So, let me find a wire that I have to remove. Actually, I don't have a wire that I have to remove. And some of these, even on my actual legitimate harness, were pretty hard to read. But, you know, you just clean them off and go hope for the best. We need to remove wire 34. Let me find that. And a bunch of those wires listed are just not on this plug, which I suspect may be the case. Sometimes what I have to do is I have to count too, because even on my donor, some of them were unreadable. So 31, 32, 33, 34. 34 is going to be this wire right here. And you can actually snip it off and leave the pin. I don't do that, mainly because I might want to come back through. So you got to get these ends off, these little red caps, And what you do is there's a little tab in there. So you push that in and just pull up. And it'll come right off. Push the white part in and pull up on the red part. Poof. Alright. Now, we've got our first wire we need to remove, again, is wire 34. I really hope you guys can see that. So I've got wire 31 is this yellow one, 32, 33 is blank, 34. I counted over. So what you do is you push these up, if you can get a hold of it. See it coming out of there? Woo, 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 woo. So I have this all the way out. Now I can peel this tab back. You can peel the tab back. There's a little clip and it catches this wire. So you peel these little tabs back in here and you shove them on back out. And once you get below the level of the wire next to it, you're past the level of the tab. So let me get in there and see what I'm talking about for sure. See that tab? Oh, good grief. I apologize, bear with me. See the little clip right here? Where's my pick? This pulls out. Whoop. And then you can push it on through. Maybe. Maybe you can do it without knocking your camera over. Maybe not. Okay. Good thing I have a good editing software. I can cut all that out. So once you push it through, you can just pull it out. I've been leaving them. You saw some of them hanging out in my harness because I don't know where the other end goes yet. And also, I may want these wires later to add pins back in. So like, these blue ones are optional. These sea blue ones, sea green, whatever. So you can see here, HVAC recirculation, door control, use this pin for fan shoe control. So you can, with HP tuners, or with a tuner, you can reuse some of these pins, you can repurpose them. You can use a program to say, okay, pin 33 is not HVAC recirculation door anymore, now it's fan 2. And that gives you an option to control your electric fans on your swaps, which I'm going to use electric fans. After speaking with Scotty Backus, and I'm sorry, dude, if I butchered your name. But after speaking with, him, the owner of Tejas Steelworks, and some of the other guys in the LS swap group, I think that using those mounts is going to be the way to go on my C10 so that I can move my engine up and forward. I don't really want to do that, but it's the lesser of two evils when it comes to I want to have air conditioning and I want to have a turbocharger. So if I do a high mount turbo, it's going to wind up living right where a high mount AC wants to live. So I really need that stock truck AC pump location. So that's probably what I'm going to do there. But this is the basics of deepinning, which I've already worked my whole harness as far as that goes. Actually, I think I only worked, I don't think I did the blue plug. Let me shut you off and we'll come back while I check on that, because if I didn't do the blue plug, I'll go through that with you. Unfortunately, I think I did it and I lost the footage, but perhaps not. So let me take a look and see if I did that blue plug, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I already did my blue connector. It's been a few months, so forgive me, I forgot. But if you follow along and you take out all the yellows the way that I described, you're gonna be where I'm at right now. We're gonna be caught up. And you're gonna have a bewildering mess of wires, and you're gonna be going, fuck, maybe I should just send this to somebody. You don't have to. I've never done this before. And I know there's people in these groups who are like, oh no, they can identify every single plug on the thing. But if you're watching this, you're probably, either you're here to criticize me, which makes you kind of a dick, or you're here to learn. And you're just like me. So, if we break this down into pieces, it's not going to be so hard. And what I'm going to do first what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get all these loose wires that I can identify together. So like these here, I'm going to pull them off to the side. Everybody wants to be a pirate until the flag's hanging on your head. Alright. So I'm going to get all these, I'm just going to separate all these loose wires out. I got a bunch. That came from my PCM somewhere. I'm just going to throw it to the back. I had a couple here that this brown one's for my check engine light. One of them's for my 4K signal to my vehicle speed sensor. I just taped them together and pushed them off to the side. And then there's these ones that disappear back into the harness somewhere. So with the ones that disappear into the harness, the only thing to do is just trace them back, find out where they go. Some of them are going to go, this one goes nowhere. Woohoo! Problem solved. Some of them are going to go off to sensors that we're deleting. Rear O2s, evap, purge solenoids, that kind of stuff. Here's a dead one that goes into my fuse wire. So I'm going to push this off to the side for now. And I'll come back in and figure out why I knocked that out later. Because ultimately, if it goes to some sensor, if I depinned it mistakenly, I can always repin it. I mean, this is going to be tedious. It's going to be one at a time. How did I get here? Where did I go wrong with my life? Why don't I just go buy a Corvette? Kind of work. If you're like me, don't go buy a Corvette because you cannot go buy a Corvette. You'd have a Corvette if you could have a Corvette. Now, as we work this, and I'm sure there's a faster way to do it, but there's not a more effective way, I bet. And it's hard to argue with the logic of just one wire at a time, process of elimination. My word. Now also, I'll mention that when I was deluming this harness, I was using a box cutter, and I thought I was being careful, and then I came across one of my injector wires that was severed, and I don't know if I severed it or if it was just in the harness severed, but at that point I quit using the box cutter unless I absolutely have to. So the temptation's there. Use it at your own risk. Unfortunately, unlike some of you probably have, you know, an engine from a known running donor. I don't. Mine came from a boneyard. I'm starting to suspect is what happened is somebody had themselves a half-ton truck, tried to swap a 6-liter into it, failed miserably, never got the thing to run, and eventually mom or wife or whatever said, get that thing out of my yard. And it wound up, you know, at LKQ. Let me find my box cutter here. So I'm starting to suspect that this 6-liter never ran in that half-ton truck that I found it in. There's just a lot of signs of that. I did go back because I had a weak moment for a minute, and I thought, yeah, I'll just go back and get that 4L60 because I already have everything to bolt this engine to a 4L60, and it'll be alright because I'm not going to beat on it, which is a stupid idea, by the way. Let me just get that out of the way. A 4L60 is a dumb idea. But anyway, the whole truck was gone, so that's that. I'll either have to find a 4L80. I have one stashed in the yard. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to it or not, but I'd really, really hate to put this together with the Turbo 350. Although I can do that for $25. So this wire goes here to this sensor, which I'm pretty sure is a this has got to be a square. This has got to be a rear O2 sensor. I don't even want this. So I'm just going to cut it off. There's no reason why I would take one wire out of a sensor and leave the rest, right? I'm going to throw it there on the ground. All my other wires. Now we know this pink is a 12 volt key. So we'll probably revisit that later. This purple, I'm fairly confident, is our starter wire. It continues on, down, past the transmission plug, to the starter. I don't know that I need this in the harness. But I'm going to leave it there for now. Alright, what do we got next? Green wire. Green wire. Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Cotton Eye Joe. It's on a journey. I'll tell you right now that I probably screwed up by having de-loomed so much of this damn harness. That was probably a mistake, and you probably don't want to not do what I've done here. But you know, live and learn, right? My truck is the truck you guys see in the intro, which I think looks pretty damn cool. And I kind of think that what I'm going to do with it is nothing. I think I'm going to clean it up, wax it. I think I'm going to put my money in a very nice interior. I think I'm going to put my money into a very nice suspension so that it rides nice, handles well. I want air conditioning. It's not an AC cab. I want AC, I want cruise, I want good brakes. And I'll just let it be ratty on the outside. Then I can drive it to work if I want to. Then I can drive it to the store if I want to. And I want to preserve it. I don't want to let it rust or anything. But, like, I kind of think it's pretty cool the way it is. And I think I might just leave it like that. Real nice interior, real nice driver. Poop me. This takes a long time. If you like are rich or something, I suppose you can just pay somebody the $250, $300 to do it, but I'm not rich. I'm very poor. I don't know what this is, but it's going bye-bye. Again, there's 2 wires on this. I've only got one here. I'm just going to cut it off. I can't imagine why I would eliminate 1 wire from the harness and not, or 1 wire from the sensor and not the other. I'm pretty sure that one was easy. Huh. This is another starter wire. Weird. I wonder what this is. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna cut it out. May have been an alternator plug. May have been who the hell knows what. I'm not really sure what everybody else's method is. I'm sure somebody will be along and be like, oh, you're a butcher. mean, this seems like the most efficient way to thin it down to me, though. I'm going to spin this around and actually start installing it. Maybe that'll make it a little easier. I got it all wadded up like an idiot. So, what I'm trying to accomplish here is to get this untangled if I can. Straighten out a bit. It looks like I have this all just kittywampus. I mean, I have this all kittywampus. It doesn't look like it. It is. Yeah, I got stuff wrapped around stuff, and I'm not ever gonna make sense of it if I don't lay it out some kind of way. Oh, what a debacle. Sure you guys are really feeling like taking advice from me now. Well, we'll get through it. One way or another, I'm going to get through this. So, let me shove this out of the way. Let's try from down here. Again, here's all my hots. I'm going to try to bind this back up a little bit. Maybe get it under control somewhat. Alright. So I got just a load of loose wires. And I should really probably go ahead and stick to bundling them into so these all stay together off this one. I need to get my tape. Now I know that roll of tape. Debacle. I'm sure it didn't grow legs and walk away. Alright. I'm gonna tie these together or something, I don't know. We'll go like that for now. Alright. Now we need to go back to just one by one. Pull these through. Figure out where they go. Spend your life doing this. Well, this goes to my manifold absolute pressure sensor. That's not good. Why would I have depinned that? I didn't depin it. It's cut. I'm starting to think this harness is like beyond my repair skill. Let's look at the, especially for my first one. It's in the blue plug. Map sensor, 5-volt sensor. $47. Did I depin it? 40, 1, 2. I did depin it, or it's depinned. Why would that be? $49, $48, $47, $46. $36. Where does this one go? This one should go to the I'm trying to trace these wires back to figure out where I went wrong or where things went wrong. Like I said, I may wind up fucking buying another harness here. Not a pre-made one, just another one. Starting to get more and more expensive by the second. It's really starting to make me regret my decision to use a factory harness and instead of a micro squirt. I can hook a micro squirt up in like 8 seconds. Whenever you get really mad, just start gorilling shit. Then forget which wire you're tracing and start over. Number 46. Six. You doing some kind of creepy weird color change on me, number 46? Throttle position sensor, 5 valve volt rest rings. Okay. And 47 should be in there, and it's not. So I'm going to have to repair it. It's just all there is to it. So I'm going to make a note of that. Then I need to go back and repin this. And I'm going to move on to the next wire, which is this blue wire. Why is it this blue wire? Because it's loose and it was flopping where I could see it. And the other end of it is nothing because it was probably on some sensor I already clipped off. Cool. I love it when a story has a happy ending. So, going back, what's next? 2 purple wires. Let's see where they go. This one goes off in this bundle with a whole bunch of dead wires. Holy buckets. but this one is pinned. So blue, .46. I already know where that one goes. So what I have now is 3 wires that are bundled together. Well, I have 4 wires that are bundled together, but 3 of them are coming out and 1 is staying. Makes it a little bit tricky. Alright. I'm working on purple, white and brown. They go somewhere. Where that is, we don't know. Somewhere along here there must be a sensor that's getting these damn wires. Well, this is my injector harness, and this is something else. I don't know what this is, but we got our culprit. Alright. I am saving all this wire and all these plugs just in case I come to a situation with, you know, like that, like my map sensor. Like, what's the deal there? Did I Did I depin it by accident? Was it screwed up in the harness to begin with? I don't know. But I have pins to put it back in, so I'm going to go ahead and forge ahead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, get rid of all the loose wires, get rid of all the dead connectors, and from there I'll go ahead, once I get to that point, I'll hook it up to the engine, make sure that these are all hooked up and functional. And I got another stand that I built, that I'm going to build to set it down and actually run it on. So you guys will be seeing that shortly. That should do a great bit to help me with troubleshooting and just getting it together. Like, obviously, I think it goes without saying that this is not going to work the first time I put 12 volts to it. Hopefully by the time I'm done goofing around with it after the holidays, because I really don't have a lot of money to spend right now. As I've mentioned in my other videos, it's Christmas time. My family expects gifts, so I'm kind of focused on that as far as money goes, but I can certainly spend some time on this. So it'll probably be about a month before I'm really ready to spend any money. But in the meantime, I got plenty of time. And it looks like from this connector I have all the loose wires. No, maybe not. Here's a green. Where do you go, green wire? It's got a tracer. What do we got here? Evap. To hell with you, Evap. We're definitely not going to be participating in that program.